it's Wave, and we all know about journaling becoming a big trend of being life-changing. It's good for self-meditation, self-discovery and all that. I never really bought into that, and I used to journal when I was little, but the thing was, I didn't know how to, and because of that, I stopped journaling. Now that I'm older and I'm trying new things, I decided why not go back into it again, but this time try it for a year. So what is journaling? Journaling is basically writing out all your thoughts or whatever you want, like your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, a daily reflection, even like putting quotes or whatever you want inside of it. All you need is a journal and a pen or pencil. So how I went about using my journal. Since I was still a skeptic in the beginning of the phase, I decided to write down like quotes or whatever was like on my mind. And I started writing this in the beginning of, hold on a second. So I started to write in last year of June 8th. Actually I had to bring this out. And because this was actually a journal that I had since middle school, but I didn't want to use it because it was so pretty, which now I think is kind of dumb, I decided to go with this one since I had it. So what I did was, in the beginning of June 8th of 2022, I just wrote down like a page of my thoughts and like how I was about to go into it. Like I put in here, the first thing was going to start the mid-year journaling. That's literally my first thing I wrote down. And then the next 2 days were basically shorter, and then one was longer, of just general how I feel about the whole process. And then the third page was basically quotes I've had. Like one was from Albert Einstein: "The woman who follows the crowd will," what was it I put down? "Will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before." I thought that was pretty neat, and I really can't read my handwriting either. So that sucks, but it's pretty cool that I actually wrote that a year ago, and that was like in June 10th. So I started that, and then from there, somewhere, what is it? I started to highlight, and then in July, I actually started to record my daily challenges that I've had. In July 1st, I have down my challenge for INFJ, and I actually have that video up, so I'll link it down in the end credits or something. Since I started to put my 30-day challenges in here to record, that was just easier for me to access it, and since it was right here and I need to journal, I thought it was a good combo. The problem was that I did like 3 or 4 of them in here, and then I realized that doing 3 or 4 challenges, this was like almost done, and I wasn't even near halfway through the year. So because of that, I actually started to blog my monthly reflections on my blog, so I'll leave that down below as well. And this kind of gave me anxiety because I wanted to use this solely for the year. I didn't want to get another journal because I didn't have the money for it, and also I wanted to keep track of like one per year, even though I started this in June of last year. I started to withhold myself back journaling, and I noticed that if I don't write in 2 to 3 days, then that's when I start to feel overwhelmed and just chaotic of how my schedule would be. So this was actually a good, not decompressor, but a venting and just brain dumping everything that's on my mind of what I had to do or emotionally. So it gave me clarity just having it all out and just depositing it onto a pen and paper. So that was pretty interesting. And then towards the, what is it, March of 14th, I started to highlight things that were very important to me. Since I'm still working on my growth journey and working on my insecurities, there were times where I found epiphany moments while I was working on it. so I just definitely highlighted it down. That way I can look back on it, but also to remember that it's like, hey, this happened. Because I tend to find moments that is like, oh, I understand, and then forget like the next 2 days. So that's something I'm working on. But journaling has helped me keep track of that. And also doing the monthly reflections on my blog kind of set me up for success, because it kept me kind of ruminating, but in a good way, to where I know where my weaknesses are, and then I can focus on the next month working towards it. Oh yeah, so one of the things I highlighted that was really significant to me was that I actually read Bigger, Better, Bolder. I can't remember the author's name, but I remember I requested that book for my library and they got it for me. So I started reading that book, and that's been like a huge game changer. Well, one of the few books that I've read. So I put in here, took a bold action and found the broker email for Challenge Saloon. And this was actually wanting to go inside a building that they closed down, but they haven't like demolished or anything. And I wanted to take pictures and film it for research, because I thought it was just a beautiful place. I got rejected, but that was okay, because that's something I never would have done, of sending an email and asking. So even though I got rejected, and that actually bothered me for a couple hours after I was like happy that I got rejected, of like just taking this step, I reflected on here. And I've also got a brochure from the person I emailed. So I didn't get what I want, but I got something that kind of sufficed, and then it actually got me thinking from other ideas because of it. So that was really a big deal for me. So yeah, I wrote like a huge paragraph about it. Another thing that was... Oh, another thing that I highlighted, which that was back in May, I also put consistency should not be based on feelings. Offense causes us to be unstable in our emotions, and how much... I literally can't read my own handwriting. That was something that a YouTuber once said, and I immediately wrote it down and highlighted it, and I actually forgot about it, but I was actually thinking about it recently, so now that I'm filming and get to see it, it makes me happy. So the pros of doing journaling for a year: it gave me clarity that I didn't suspect I would get. Brain dumping was a big thing too, of not only just like doing tasks like I usually do my Bojo, but brain dumping how I felt and what I was going through that day. It kind of felt like I was like venting to a friend without a friend, and also it made me vulnerable, but also being honest with myself, because at times I don't recognize like what I feel half the time, or is it my feelings at all, or how I see things and why I react to things. So being honest was like a struggle for me, but journaling has helped me, put me in a setting stone to where I'm better than what I was without doing this challenge. Another good thing about journaling is that nobody has to read this, and this is something that will never be not only shown out to the world, but you won't be gaslighted either, because I have dealt with people gaslighting me when I'm like very vulnerable of asking things, and it literally sent me to a spiral rabbit hole of just like self-destructing, and basically felt out like I was very minimizing my own self and why I exist. So this was actually very important to me, because I didn't know that it would make a big difference. Another pro is that if you're an introvert like I am, this was actually a good thing to get everything off your chest. Because like I said, it's like a friend who you can trust and you know that won't blabber off, or even when you have a hard time getting an argument, they're not going to throw it at your face. knowing that it's just you and your thoughts, but you're depositing everything into an object, it really helps. Another great thing about it is that if you have like secrets that you promise to keep, but you're just dying to get it out because it brings emotional toll to you, this is a good way just to vent it out and then know that it's safe, no one's gonna see it, and you actually keep your promise of keeping a secret. If you journal frequently, or you just write a lot and you go through the journal faster than you expect to, like I did, then it's gonna be pricey. And depending what you get or what you like, the price can also vary as well. Pens, you would go through that too. My Zebra Sarasa pen, those usually last me 4 months, and I had no idea that I was going to do that until I started journaling. And it happened to be the same time where I bought them brand new too. So it's a good thing I know about that, but at the same time, 4 months for each pen, it will add up long term, unless you buy them on sale or in bulk, or buying them those refills if they didn't discontinue it or they have it available. Because I noticed that some pens, they make you buy the actual pen instead of buying the refills. So depending on what's your comfort pen of choice, it can vary as well. Keeping in mind of your page count. So because of this was like, what was it? I think under like 150 pages. A year of that is not gonna last because I had to put everything into my blog for my monthly reflections. So be wary of like which journal you use to, like the page count. It's better to have more pages than less pages because, like me, you don't know how much you're gonna write. This isn't a good place to log in your challenges. Since my challenges, I do 30 days and I've done like 4 of them in this thing, that's 120 days. And each day varied when I was logging in. Because of that, I decided to throw in my future and current 30 challenges onto my blog instead, because it's unlimited and also it doesn't cost me. And that way I can keep track of like my core rather than my challenges that I need to do and then film later. Another con, depending on which journal you get, mine had quotes inside of it, so that took some chunk of the pages. Like, what was it? Yeah, like some of them would take like half a page or even like a third of it. So I probably would have saved more space, and that didn't happen, but that's something to keep in mind. If you like having quotes on your journal, then you probably won't have much room to work with. So my overall thoughts of journaling for a year. Did it work? Yeah, it did. It was a wild ride. I didn't expect that I would actually write so much on some days. I actually finally got to use this journal for once, and I feel good that I kept it, because I originally was going to donate it to a neighbor and it just never happened. So it finally gave me the courage to actually use it. I'm so glad that I tried this challenge for a year, and amongst other challenges like bullet journaling for a year, because even though I found them really skeptical and laughable, it turns out that it actually worked for me. So definitely try journaling and let me know if it's actually been a game changer for you. Because I know that people that don't have like a lot of friends, or have friends to where they can emotionally meet you, journaling could be an alternative to it. I mean, you still need human connection, but if you have people around you that are just not mature enough to be emotionally vulnerable and available, it really sucks and it is hurtful at times. But journaling, you know in your heart that it's a safekeeping. So with that, those are my thoughts. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.